module, you will need to provide some settings to eramba. So eramba knows how to classify your risks, how to calculate a risk score, and how to put risks inside a matrix. Now these three settings, the classification, the calculation, and the appetite, are very linked to each other. So what it means is that it depends what you want in the end, what kind of settings, classifications, and calculation you can use in eramba. And what we'll try to do now is explain those dependencies. The first decision you need to make is whether you want a single matrix like this, or you want to have multiple matrices. Most people, I would say 95% of people, will go with a single matrix. That is one X and one Y axis. Typically likelihood and impact, but you can call these things anything you want in eramba. This matrix can be of any size you want as well. In this case it's 5 times 5, but it could be 3 times 3, 3 times 5, or whatever it is that you want. If you're going for a single matrix, this is the way it's going to look. Now some people want to use a multiple matrix, which is exactly the same as you see now. It's just that you will have this matrix times 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or whatever it is. And the reason for that is because in their view, the impact, will have to be analyzed against different things. So business impact, financial impact, reputational impact, and so on. And so they will need one matrix for each type of impact they want to use. Again, you can call things anything you want, and this matrix can be of any size as well as you want. Let's look how that is set up in eramba. When you go to any risk module, you will have to go to settings, and you have the three settings in here: classification, risk appetite, and calculation method. On the classification side is where you will define these classifications, in this case business impact and likelihood of occurrence. As you can see, I have 5 in here and 5 here. This is because I'm using a single matrix. If I would like to have a multiple matrix, well, I will definitely need the likelihood, because these impacts are all the time calculated against a single likelihood type. But then this business impact, I will probably have 2 or 3 times more of them, because I will have financial impact and reputational impact, for example. Once you classify your risks, you will have to choose your calculation method. The calculation method depends, again, if you're using a single matrix or a multiple matrix. For a single matrix, you can use eramba or eramba multiply. This will do the addition of these classifications, so 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 3. And this one will do the multiplication of these classifications. If you want to use a multiple matrix, then you need to use the EBA method. When you enable this method, you will see that you have 2 options, 2 settings. You will need to tell eramba which classification you want to use for likelihood, and for impact, which impacts you want to use. In this case, I have only 1, but I should have here 3 or 4 more. The third setting you will have to work with is the risk appetite. The risk appetite is where you basically color this matrix. eramba will build this matrix automatically, one matrix if you're using a single matrix, or multiple matrix if you're using multiple matrices, And for each one of these combinations, you have to click on the settings, define a title, a description, and a color. You actually, you will see later on, but you will see you don't really have to do every one of them because you have a default threshold. But the point is, for every one of these metrics, you will have to define these settings. Now, as a summary, here you have a diagram that will explain to you, perhaps in a bit more clear way, what I'm talking about here. Do you want to have a multiple matrix setup or a single setup? If you want single, you need 2 classifications. For example, likelihood and impact. Remember, you can call them whatever you want. Then you need to choose the calculation method has to be eramba or eramba multiply, and then you'll have to define your risk matrix. If you want to use a multiple matrix, you will need 1 classification for likelihood, and then 2 or more classifications for impact. Then the only calculation method available to you is the EBA method, and then you will have to configure the risk matrix for all these matrices. I hope this explanation helps you to understand how the different calculations, classifications, and risk appetite work in between them.